Most fairy tales begin once upon a time. But this isn't a fairy tale. This is a duck tale. And it started here. This is the story of Arnold of the Ducks. That's not Arnold there, that's his mother. And that's not Arnold either. That's a lazy sheepdog named Waldo. Now that's Arnold. We'll get to the part about the ducks a little later. In a way, it all started one day when the phone rang.
Hello. Oh, hi, Marge. She's out in the backyard with Arnold. Yeah, just a sec. Hey, Sally, Marge on the phone.
Coming. Waldo, keep an eye on Arnold.
So there was Arnold, just minding his own business, and along comes this pelican. Now, this was not a bright bird, and what's more, he was terribly nearsighted. He was out looking for food this day, and he mistook Arnold for a large yellow-crested tuna.
So tomorrow night... Oh, Marge, would you hold a second? The dog's barking and... Harry! Arnold's gone! He was in the wading pool.
Don't worry, he can't have gotten far.
Waldo, where's Arnold?
Look, I'm going to round up the neighbors, and we ought to call the police.
Waldo, did you see where Arnold went?
There was nothing in the sky, nothing but a silly pelican. Even if she had been able to understand Waldo, it wouldn't have mattered. She wouldn't have believed it. But this wasn't the end of Arnold. Oh, not by a long shot. In fact, it was just the beginning of the epic adventure of Arnold of the Ducks.
We'll return after these messages.
Hi, I'm Mike Wallace with a sensational shortening discovery for better baking and frying. It's Procter & Gamble's Golden Fluffo. Let's hear what Mrs. Thelma Styra, Indiana State Fair baking champion, had to say about Fluffo.
I love Fluffo. It makes such a golden brown pie.
Oh, man, that's some apple pie. Get Golden Fluffo.
Now, the pelican that had grabbed up Arnold was not one of your brighter pelicans. He still thought that what he had was a very large tuna fish. His first clue that something was wrong was that tuna fish rarely laugh. Bye-bye! And they almost never say bye-bye. The pelican was so startled that he didn't see a rather large tree dead ahead until it was almost too late. So there was Arnold, and there went the pelican in search of a tuna that didn't laugh or say bye-bye. But at least Arnold was safe. Make that almost safe. Arnold was okay as long as he didn't run out of branches. Like that. As luck would have it, Arnold found himself right in the middle of a family of ducks. 4 curious ducklings wondering who and what this visitor from the sky was, and their mother, Mrs. Leda Duck by name, just returning with food for her 4 children. Make that 5 children. Now, in duck, that means whatever you are, get out of here. This is our nest, and I only have enough marsh grass for my 4 children. Well, at least she said something like that. Arnold didn't speak duck, but he got the hint. He wasn't wanted. Now, Leda was a mother duck, and there's something about all mothers everywhere, regardless of their species. They believe in taking care of children. even funny-looking pink ones without feathers. You see, Lita kind of looked at it this way. 4 hungry mouths, 5 hungry mouths, what's the difference? And so Arnold became an honorary duckling. To be honest, he wasn't too good at it. In fact, Arnold was one of the worst ducks Lita had ever seen. But Lita wasn't about to give up on him, especially when she heard danger.
Now let's try over this way.
It was a search party looking for Arnold, but Lita didn't know that. And Arnold didn't get the chance to see or hear them. Lita hurried him off to the duck's favorite hiding place. You see, humans in the woods usually didn't mean anything good for ducks.
Now I'll search over here, George.
But they didn't find him. They searched all day, and they didn't find a trace of Arnold. Not a trace. Finally, long after the sun had set, the search for Arnold was officially abandoned.
Now we searched everywhere. We couldn't be in the woods anywheres. Now the police have searched the whole neighborhood, every house.
But if he's not in the city, and he's not out here, where did he go?
Waldo had a hunch.
Whoa, Waldo. Arnold's not out there.
Where could a boy just disappear to?
Though his parents had to give up searching, they never gave up hoping. But at least for now, Arnold wasn't going home. But fortunately for him, he'd found a new home. And that, more or less, is how he became Arnold of the Ducks. But like we said earlier, Arnold wasn't particularly good at being a duck. Not at first, anyway. He wasn't too good at flying either. But if at first you don't succeed, try again. And again, and again, and again. Finally, Arnold did what any red-blooded young boy or duckling would do. He cried. Arnold had decided he just wasn't cut out to be a duck. But his new brothers had come to a conclusion. Arnold only really needed one thing. So they took him back to the tree where ducks were known to sleep, a tree filled with leftover feathers. Then they found some sticky stuff, and before long, Arnold looked, well, he looked a lot more like a duck than he did before. Arnold's new look was a hit. The question was, would it fly? That was how Arnold got his wings. In the years that followed, Arnold became the best flyer in the flock. He learned all about the dangers ducks face. Like avoiding things made by humans. Now Arnold was happy, and his brothers were happy. Lita Duck was happy too. So was everyone happy? No, not quite everyone. Not in this house anyway. Arnold's parents had tried not to think too much about their son, but it was hard.
Sally, we've both got to stop this. It's been 3 years now. Well, I miss him too, but we've got our lives to live.
Do you think it's possible we might ever see him again?
Nothing's impossible.
Arnold's father was right. Nothing is impossible. Although this came very close. Now, every so often, Arnold would fly to the north edge of the forest, and there he would see strange creatures doing strange things. He had a strange desire to go be with them.
How are the burgers coming?
You like them raw? Great. Are you sure you don't want to send out for pizza? Don't get so excited, Waldo. It's only a duck.
Only a duck? If he only knew. By now, Arnold knew that those featherless creatures were human beings. What he didn't know was that he used to be one of them. He also didn't know what happens when a duck gets too close to a kite.
What's going on up there?
That duck, he got tangled in the kites.
Hopelessly tangled.
Oh, that poor little duck.
Waldo, go see if he's alive.
He was alive, all right. Only he wasn't a poor little duck. To Waldo, he looked more like a poor little Arnold.
Here comes Waldo. And he's bringing the duck back.
Wait a minute. That's not a duck. That's...
Harry didn't believe it. And you couldn't really blame him. But it was.
That's our son.
It is.
Naturally, they had no idea what had happened. But the important thing was that Arnold was back with his family. And that was good news. Well, maybe not good news for everyone.
We'll return after these messages.
Can WON YouTube bring you the best of entertainment daily? Can a disturbing creature be extremely rude to a process server?
Good evening. Is Carter Hayes in? You could do me a favor. I have some important documents for him, and I was wondering if... I'm tired.
WON YouTube Networks, entertainment on the web 24/7. WON is also on Facebook. WON YouTube Networks is now on Facebook. Check it out.
Let us review. Arnold had suddenly and mysteriously dropped back into his folks' lives. They took him in where Sally plucked the feathers from him one by one.
Arnold, son, listen to me. I'm your father. This is your mother, and I'm your father. Do you understand that? Okay, so our son quacks. Fine, fine.
I'm gonna get the rest of the feathers off him and give him a bath.
Our son quacks. Big deal. Nothing wrong with that. Lots of kids quack. It's just a phase he's going through, that's all. So my son thinks he's a duck. Anything wrong with that?
Arnold, stop that! This is a bathtub.
Oh, hello, Harry. How's your son? You know, the one that quacks. Oh, he's all right, except that he wants to fly south for the winter.
He was trying to carry on a conversation with the rubber ducky.
Sure, why not? Other fathers have sons who take after baseball players. My son takes after wildlife. Is that so strange?
Obviously, this would take some getting used to. In the weeks that followed, Arnold began to pick up some English.
Now, Arnold, what is this?
Car.
Very good. Now, what is this?
Boat.
Excellent. Now, what is this?
Mama!
Let's try this again.
Car.
Arnold. Here's your mail. Hey, you see that new shopping center going up on the edge of the woods?
Uh-huh. Any mail for us?
Oh, here's one. Did I just see?
See what?
Nah, couldn't have been.
It was like that for months. But finally, Arnold stopped flying and stopped quacking. In fact, he became so much like a normal boy that his parents decided to send him off to school with a few last-minute warnings.
And remember, no quacking.
I promise, Dad. No quacking.
And walk. Don't waddle.
Well, you look proud of yourself.
Why not? My son is acting like a sun instead of a waterfall. Yay!
Every day, Arnold would go to school, walking past where they were building the new shopping center. And he looked like any other kid at Evergreen Avenue Elementary School. But he sure didn't feel like one.
Hey, you walk like a duck. You know that? You walk like a duck. What's wrong with ducks? Ducks are funny-looking birds. They're dumb and they walk funny and they're stupid, just like you. We ought to call you Ducky.
Ducky, Ducky, Ducky. Ducky, Ducky. Arnold, Howie, you stop that. We'll have none of that in the schoolyard. Come inside, all of you.
The problem was that although Arnold looked like a little boy and acted like a boy, there was still a little of the duck in him. By now, Arnold's brothers were fully grown, and Lita decided it was time to begin working on her next family. Now we jump ahead to a very important day a week or so later. It began with breakfast.
Well, why the long face, son? Something wrong at school?
Oh, the kids are always picking on me and calling me Ducky, making fun of me.
Oh, don't let that bother you. Kids always do that to other kids.
Oh, Arnold, before I forget, remember to stay clear of the construction site by the forest.
Oh, that's right. Today's the day they start clearing the east end of the woods.
They're tearing down part of the forest? What happens to all the ducks who live there?
Don't worry. They'll all just move to another part of the woods.
Sure, the demolition crew always searches and makes sure all the animals are out before they go ahead.
Okay.
Arnold left for school that day with his parents wondering if he was all right. And all day he found himself wondering if Lita and his duck brothers were all right.
Hey, Ducky!
Uh-oh, Arnold really didn't need this today.
I said, hey, Ducky. That means you. Listen, why don't you just leave me?
It was just then that Arnold noticed something. And then he saw them, but not all of them, just his 4 brothers driven from the forest. And Lita wasn't with them.
Hey, Ducky, what are you looking at? Hey, nobody shoves me and gets away with it. Go get him.
Arnold had a terrible feeling that his mother, the one with the feathers, was in trouble.
Hey, Ducky, you can't get away. You'll never get over that fence.
Well, there's something you don't see every day.
Howie, where's Ducky? I didn't see where he went, did you? Sort of. You know, I don't think we ought to call him Ducky anymore.
Isn't it great? Arnold is cured. He's never going to act like a duck again. Oh, no.
Where is he going?
Oh, that's what I'm going to find out.
Wait for us!
Arnold flew as fast as his little unfeathered arms could carry him, while just outside the forest, the bulldozers were set to move in.
Okay, we're clearing the whole east end of the woods. I don't want a tree left standing. Okay, move them out!
Arnold joined his brothers to find out where Lita was.
Where? Nest? No!
Lita, he found out, was on her nest, not far from where the bulldozers were beginning. There were 4 ducklings waiting to be born, and Lita wasn't about to leave them for anything.
Maybe it was a bird. I don't care what it was. Let's get out of here. There's a kid.
Yeah, he's flying.
We wrecked our bulldozers.
Arnold? Arnold, this has got to stop. Now, Arnold, you are not a duck. I mean, you are a boy. In fact, you are my boy, and you are driving your father crazy. I can't...
Now, it's tough enough for a father to understand his son. That we know. And Arnold's father didn't think he'd ever understand Arnold. But at just that moment, something about Arnold had started to make sense. Because even though there was a lot of duck in Arnold still, there was also a lot of humanity.
Arnold, what are you doing here?
What was Arnold doing here? Helping out someone who helped him out once. There really isn't a lot more to the story of Arnold of the Ducks. Now that Lita's new family was born, work on the shopping center could begin. Assuming, of course, they could find some new bulldozers and someone willing to drive them. They took Lita and her new family to another part of the forest where they'd be safe. After all, Lita had 4 new hungry mouths to feed, and she had to find food. And what about Arnold? Well, he never flew after that day and never quacked, except when he had the hiccups. From then on, life was pretty much normal around the house, except that every so often, you could find Arnold scanning the skies, looking for someone. And every so often, you could see someone looking back.
And now this message.
Supergirl has the ability to save millions upon millions of lives with her great superpowers. Americans have the ability to save thousands of lives, one at a time.
16,000 people die each year in car crashes that don't have to. Safety belts could save their lives. Safety belts could also prevent thousands from being horribly disfigured or crippled for life. So buckle up. Your life is in your hands.
Hello. This is Universal City Studios, where we're filming Dragnet. I'd like to take just a minute to talk to those of you who will soon be 65 about signing up for your Medicare benefits under Social Security. Now, it's very important that you go into your Social Security office 2 or 3 months before your 65th birthday, regardless of whether you plan to retire or whether you want to continue working for a while. If you wait until you're already 65 to apply for Medicare, you will have lost some of the protection provided by this health insurance. The time to sign up is before you're 65, not after. Now, if you have a question about Medicare or about any of the other Social Security benefits, write, phone, or visit the Social Security office in your community. The people there will be glad to help you.